Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Live here, and I'm not alone. I'm joined by the wonderful, the marvellous Marcus Horn. Hello.
Hello, hi.
Hi. Anyone who's not familiar, Marcus is the wonderful creator of the Tory series, so we're very lucky to have him in this video because it felt appropriate. I mean, I genuinely don't even know where to begin with this. Unity announced very recently that they were changing their pricing structure to every time a game is installed that uses the Unity engine, they will charge the creator of the game. That's about the nub of it, isn't it?
It kind of sounds like, back in the days, like the early 2000s, when you bought the game to download on your mobile phone, and if you want to download, you just had to pay them again.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like that in a way.
Yeah, because I do want to stress it is per install, and and that's not per purchase. And they have specified that if it's deleted on the same device and then re-downloaded, they won't charge you again. But if it's downloaded on another device, same, like Steam storefront or, the Switch eShop, you just download it on another Switch, they're going to charge the developer again. And
literally the same user. It's
absolutely baffling. Absolutely baffling.
Yeah.
So, as a developer, Marcus, how does this make you feel?
Soon to be former one. Yeah, I do have emotions about this, I feel. When I read this, this morning, it was I don't know, in the middle of the night for me. It was just how I imagine a parent would feel like when their toddler runs toward the hot plate for the fifth time in a row, just this feeling of giving up, okay.
And I do want to stress that your games, you use Unity, don't you?
Yes, for literally everything.
Yeah, I've seen some people respond to this with that it's not that bad, sort of that it's only 20 cents is the highest amount that they will charge, and it's dependent on a lot of different factors. We'll have the information that they've provided on their blog up on screen now, so that you can read it at your leisure. So, sort of 20 cents. Particularly, for example, the Tory series, you don't tend to charge an awful lot for your games, do you? That's one of the reasons why we were so endeared to them.
Yeah, usually they are quite low.
And obviously you've got fees going elsewhere, and also you still have to pay a license fee to use Unity and release games in that way.
Yeah, at least as far as I know for Switch. Yeah, it's I was imagining where the logical cap for this whole low price game thing would be, and Unity kind of provided it. It's with their I think 200,000 revenue or something, and 200,000 downloads. This is literally the cap now, because if I reach this, I start to lose money effectively in the end, which is interesting.
That's one word for it, I suppose. It's completely, and again, I cannot stress this enough. This isn't per purchase, this is per install, and something that is an important factor, of course, and is something that I know is only a sort of small sort of part of the gaming industry, but it's an important one. Piracy. People will get games through illicit means, and Unity have basically just said, we promise we can tell when it's been pirated and we won't charge you. And that's I don't know about you, but not even as a developer doesn't fill me with confidence. I can't lie.
Yeah, I mean, especially with zero DRM, my games basically don't have any special DRM. I really don't know how that would work. If I for example, if I upload a game on itch.io or something, and someone downloads it and shares it with a friend, does that new install, does it count? Is it already piracy in their terms? How would they even know?
Yeah. I'm simply flabbergasted. I was distracted earlier today by the Nintendo Direct, but now I've come crashing back down to the Unity reality.
Yeah, it's a mix of emotions today.
Yes, absolutely. So another factor, and I know this doesn't affect you. Well, actually, I suppose in a way, because you have released certain games for free, haven't you? Like a Tori Genesis, I believe, was a free download. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think last year.
Okay, so a free download, something that will entice people to download it without a second thought, because they don't even need to put any kind of, credit card or anything in. You will still be charged.
I think I would need to check again, but there definitely was something about that you still have to make some amount of income from it. So I think like completely free might be okay, but that's another thing, right? It's so confusing how they like had this blog post and then they retracted on some things and then they changed things, and I don't get their way of PR right now. It's confusing to me.
It is. They did sort of backpedal on a few things, and such as reinstalling on the same device won't count. They won't charge you again.
Yeah.
But regardless, surely how they determine what is the same device is another thing entirely. We already know about DRM issues in regards to things like if you change the graphics card, it thinks it's a new system. Is that going to happen again with this sort of situation? And even then, it doesn't take long for a bad actor, I'm sure, to work out the system. And if they wanted to, they could essentially bankrupt a small developer. And I'm not saying that, that there's, swathes of people out there ready to do this at a moment's notice. But there are people who are that determined and have that little else going on with their life that's a hobby for them. That's incredibly, that's not just damaging, that's damning. That can destroy someone's livelihood.
Yeah, like it's retroactively, right? Like they literally, I think at some point they said like this is gonna also count for like installs from the past, which I think is like almost the most scariest part, because they can literally now come and be like, hey, that game from 3 years ago, it got downloaded I don't know how many times.
I've seen conflicting reports. They've said that they won't be doing it, but that it will apply to games that already exist that use the Unity engine. So it may well be that from the 1st of January 2024, which is when this supposedly comes into effect. I can't help but feel that by the time we get there, it may have slightly changed, because this is just complete insanity. That from that point on, we'll say, sort of any downloads from that point, or sorry, any installs, because it's not downloads, any installs from that point on, provided it's over the threshold, will be charged as such. And the people that it's going to be affecting the most are the small developers, because big developers, they pay less per install. And, sort of, even though I'm sure they're not going to be over the moon about it, they can afford this sort of system. But smaller developers, as soon as you get any modicum of success, that success is, well, more than tarnished. It's almost negated. Yeah,
I mean, like, even if it doesn't affect someone, like, from the numbers right now, I kind of feel like the direct effect of, paying won't affect me. Like, I won't get into this threshold. But still, it's like, oh, okay, cool, I'm not affected, but, so many other people are. And it feels so weird how they didn't even think about the brand damage that will do. And, even if you're not affected as a developer, you're still gonna try to get your game out there. You're still gonna be like, hey, please get my game. And then people see, the Unity logo, and they remember this, and they're like, maybe not. And, I totally get that. I totally understand that. I'm on their side. It's a situation.
It's a situation. That's quite a succinct way to sum it up. What do you feel is going to happen in regards to this? Do you feel that this is something that Unity is going to completely backtrack on? Do you think that they are going to water it down? Or do you think they're just going to try and go full steam ahead?
That's a good question. The way Unity currently seems to be handled, I can see them not completely backtracking. I think something is going to happen, and they will at least, try it out. But I do, I can kind of see them maybe trying to water it down, or maybe like coming to the senses and be like, hey, actually, maybe we should just try to get a share of the sale, which is still but at least it wouldn't be per install.
Yeah, I mean, because you pay a license for Unity, whether it's the personal, plus, pro, or enterprise. And
yeah,
I don't, sort of want to say that I understand the economics of it and everything like that, but I feel that if you're paying that, that should be enough. In the same way that you would pay a license to use something like Photoshop. That you don't then every time an image you create in Photoshop is viewed, Photoshop go, oh, gimme. Although it's Adobe, so I'm not going to completely rule it out.
You don't give them ideas, please. When I can imagine someone being like, hey, we should charge people per install, and some other people be like, hey, that's a great idea, that will make us a lot of money. But there should have been one person who was like, actually, maybe not the best idea.
Maybe a terrible idea, to say the least. I mean, I'm a bit of a loss for words for it, to be honest. Because it is just so out of touch, so completely against the idea of, also the fact that the company is called Unity, and they have, I suppose, in a way, they have ironically caused everyone in the gaming community to unify against them, so they've got that at least. But
it's kind of unreal, really.
Oh, yeah. But I suppose I'd like to sort of sum things up. Marcus, what would be your message to Unity, and what would be your message to people who love your games, or just love games in general? What would be your message to them overall?
I mean, to people who like my games, for now it's it's still all good. Like we can still go into Christmas and it's all gonna be fine. But starting January 1st, maybe buy my games, but please don't install them. Perhaps.
The typical Steam user approach. Yeah, buy games, never install them. I can't take any credit for that. I've seen that all over Twitter.
Yeah. I also I stole it.
And the thing is that I suppose in a way it's jokey, but that would make sense. What an insane situation we're in, where that can be.
Like you can't, right? You can't even tell the people, hey, it's fine, just pirate my games, because that's still, I mean, Unity says it will be fine, but how would that even work?
How can we realistically even? And I don't want to say that they would intentionally be dishonest, but it's all using their own internal software, their internal systems. How can we know that their numbers are accurate? We can't, sort of base it on anything else. You can't base it on sales data or anything like that. They're just sort of going, trust me, bro. And then sending you a big old bill.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen so many people, other indie developers who usually are very, I wouldn't say relaxed, but, very calm during situations like this. Like, for example, the last time Unity did something that was, I think literally just half a year ago or even less. Even those people are, openly talking about how this is just, first of all, how it's not going to work, and second of all, how it's really, really problematic and damaging for literally everyone involved. I mean, right down to the people who, in the end will play the game.
Yeah, because at the end, it's going to stifle any kind it's going to stifle development. I think if this does go through in some way, then people are going to be flocking away from Unity, which, for all its faults, from what I understand, is rather a useful tool and a great tool for smaller developers.
Yeah.
And so alternatives are going to, people are going to have to find alternatives, and that's disruptive.
Yeah, I kind of, I don't know if, Unity maybe sees themselves as the dominant, just game engine in general, which they might still have been till yesterday, I don't know. But I don't know how you would do something like this when, one of your closest competitors is, literally Epic, with the Unreal Engine and with all the Fortnite money. And
it just feels like they're digging their own grave. I just can't see it any other way. I can't honestly believe that they think that this is going to be beneficial, or that, as you say, somebody didn't, or maybe somebody did and they're no longer employed, saying what a terrible idea it is. It just absolutely beggars belief. It's so tone deaf, so out of place, and I feel like we're just going around in circles. But
yeah,
is there a loading thing in Unity which is a spinning circle? Because I could make a reference to that, but I don't know because I don't make games.
If you do, I kind of can't recommend Unity from now on.
So, I mean, from a personal point of view, if you love indie developers and you want to support them, I can't help but feel that you should let your opinions be known to Unity. I'm not saying to be, to attack any individual or anything like that, but the brand accounts, be respectful, but let them know your opinions on this. I think that's the only way that we're going to be able to get through to them. And as I say, please do be respectful. At the end of the day, it's people at the other end of this. Marcus, once again, thank you so much for joining at such short notice. Thank you. Do check out the Tory games. I think they're absolutely fantastic, and I have the best opinions, so they must be great. We got Tory Saturn coming out next year.
Yes,
fingers crossed.
Hopefully.
Yes. I've played a demo. It's fantastic. So keep an eye out for that. And thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you make that subscribe button in Unity, but make sure it doesn't get installed too many times. And be sure to check out NintendoLife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo-related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh.